We're live, and I'm here with SLART, and we're just talking about the photograph. Is it your thumbnail on your? It's on SLART, isn't it? Anyway, it's that black and white one
Yeah,
that I used on the graphic. Go on then, tell me about it.
yeah. I just wanted to talk about that because there's a funny story behind it. So, Eleanor was saying how I can't remember the words you used,
I
but
said dark, pensive, and sad,
that's it. Yeah.
and beautiful. I said
Um,
beautiful as well.
Thank you. So that was from, you get those passport photos in the booths.
Yeah,
Um, and I went to see Matt Berry, who's
love
don't
him.
know if you heard of
Yeah,
him. Yeah,
yeah.
musician, actor, mainly musician.
Yeah.
Went to see him for a record signing,
He's a
and
polymath, isn't he? Really, Matt Berry.
yeah, he is. Yeah.
Mm.
And I wanted to invite him to my exhibition, which I had recently. So I was going to give him a flyer, but I messed up the writing on it so I was nervous. I was just trying to scribble something on there, and it looked really bad. So I went to this photo booth, held my flyer, took these photos. I put my money in. It took a photo like without me being ready, and that
Wow.
was one of the photos.
Well, that's beautiful. No wonder it's so beautiful. That's
Yeah, because it's
fantastic.
not posed or anything.
It's not
Yeah,
posed, and you're just there's this angle to it, to the way that it's the angle that's so beautiful, and obviously the color. Have you messed with the color at all, or is that literally as
yeah. I
is?
just put like a blue filter on it. It was a
Blue
black and
filter
white
on it.
photo.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
It looks incredibly posed. It looks like it's some fantastic art piece. That's so funny. I love it more now. So
Yeah.
good. And did you give it to Matt Berry? Did he come to the show?
I did give it to him. He didn't come. I was gutted, man. I thought he would come, but
Was he
I did
charming?
follow up with his record company.
Was he? Was he
Um,
or not? Don't burst my bubble if he wasn't. I love him.
no, he was charming, but he did a talk as well, and he's really charming during that. But meeting one
Okay.
to one, he kind of lost the charm a bit. I can kind of
Yeah.
understand. I would be the same speaking to like 150 people separately and signing their records and stuff. But
Yeah.
no, he's really lovely guy. Mm.
I mean, I can imagine when you've got such a forward fronting persona that we all who know him on telly and everything, we recognize that. And obviously he can't, that's only just an aspect of him, isn't it? So I imagine,
Yeah,
like with many famous people, generally crowds want him to be the Matt Berry who they know from all that brilliant stuff he's done. And it would piss someone off eventually, wouldn't it? I think.
yeah,
But he's so
yeah. Well,
clever, and he's a polymath.
yeah. Well, he said he doesn't remember any of the catchphrases that he has in his shows. Um, and I don't know if you know this about him, he fell into acting by accident.
I don't
I
know.
don't want to make this all about Matt Berry,
No, we mustn't
but
do that. God.
I'll say this quickly. So
Yeah,
he was doing a gig.
yeah,
He had to do like a slightly comedy music type gig, and the guy who set up Garth Marenghi, I can't remember his
yeah.
name.
I know.
Um, he
You mean the rich
he
guy on
saw him
Wimbledon?
there. No, not him. Oh no, he wrote it, didn't he? I think. But
Yeah,
no, the main Garth Marenghi guy.
yeah. I remember
I've forgotten his name. But
Turbine.
he saw Matt playing, and he said, "I've got this part for this show that I'm doing," and he got into that, and then he got into IT Crowd and Toast of London and loads of stuff
Yeah,
after that. So
yeah.
yeah,
Garth Marenghi. It was a classic. I'm not sure. I mean, it's not as widely known as the IT and all of that, but I
no,
think it was an absolute work of genius. Anybody listening, if you're interested in some really, really original work, go find Garth Marenghi, probably on YouTube or somewhere. I don't know where. Anyway, let's talk about
yeah.
you. Let's talk about you, Slart, Steve. How was the show, Memento Vivere? I'm really sorry I couldn't come. I tried so hard for like every time. I was gutted anyway that I couldn't be there. But how was it?
Oh no, it's okay. I know you tried your best.
I did try.
Um, yeah, it was amazing. It was very moving. Very.
Mm.
There's lots of little kind of faux pas that happened and stuff. Like
Mm.
which made the whole thing more interesting. Like one of the days I forgot the key to the crypt. So they got this massive key which is like 200 years old. And I got there and I was like, oh shit, I've forgotten the key. And there's wow, this is amazing. So I had to go in the church to get the key, but they had a Sunday service on. I was like, oh, I can't go in and say, hello, can you get the key for me? I've forgotten it. So I had to wave at the verger, and finally he came out and got the key off him, walked back, and when I got the key, everyone cheered, and then we went in.
Oh,
Just little stupid things. So I always get myself in little situations like that, but it kind of makes the story more interesting.
yeah.
So I met people from all over the world
Mm.
who came to visit. Um, not saying that I'm huge and people know me. It was just by chance the location of it. There's lots of tourists about, and they just walked in and came out. Like a lot of them were blown away. Which yeah, yeah, I don't like blowing my own trumpet, but I think it worked really well. The space was perfect for
Mm.
my art, and it was yeah, people got something from it rather than just looking at pretty pictures. That
Yeah. How did you
yeah,
get the
you know what I
space?
mean. It's a
I
bit
do.
more
Yeah.
deeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you
Mm.
get the space? Did you just walk in and say, can I use this space?"
No, someone told me about it a few years ago. So you have to rent it out. But I yeah, I've been thinking about it for a few years, and then I decided to give it a go.
Okay.
And when I first went there, it looked it's quite a big space. It's an underground crypt. For anyone who doesn't know, it's below St Pancras Church.
Mm.
And when I first walked in there, I was like, how am I going to fill this space with my work? I felt a bit intimidated, but once it was all set up, it was really perfectly spaced out. So it wasn't all crammed together. There was like a couple of meters between each artwork, and it had a bit of a journey going through all the tunnels, and it seemed to work really well.
I think that's one of the things you teach by action is that I've been obviously doing a deep dive on you today, and it seems that you just think, well, I want to do this, so I'm going to go and do it. So, for instance, approaching the crypt and saying, can I rent this space? It's a real example, I think, to other artists out there of all mediums, right? Is that something, have you have you built that? Have you grown it? Have you always had it? Is it nerve-wracking every time? Where's your heart and where's your nervous system with that kind of action?
It is nerve wracking every time, but it's
Mm.
become easier as I got older.
Mm.
I had really bad social anxiety when I was a teenager and early 20s and that. So I'm grateful that I can even so going from where I was, where I couldn't even like leave the house that much, to being able to do all this stuff. It's life affirming, even though it feels quite scary. It's the pull of actually getting myself out there is bigger than the fear. Um,
Mm.
I have such a passion to get my work out there that whatever fear I feel, it surpasses that, and I just go and do it. Um, Not say that to anyone really. It's so easy to be comfortable, especially these days. But there's also so many more opportunities to get yourself out there and set up your own things. Really,
And could I share this with you? What is that passion to get it out there? I think, I mean, obviously, I understand the creative bit. I know I can't help it. It's not a question of choice. I absolutely have to do this thing. But the bit about needing it to be seen and out there, how do you understand that aspect of you?
oh God, I can't really put it into words. It's just a compulsion, really.
Mm.
And like you with the art side of it, that's where I would like to spend most of my time. But um, there is just an urge to get it out there, and even and I must admit I am crippled with self doubts quite a lot as well. But I know that they're quite fleeting, and
Mm.
regardless of what I feel about my work, one day I'll like it, the other day I won't, and it's the same for people looking at it. So there's no point me doubting or criticizing my own work because the main thing is I'm enjoying creating it, and then getting it out there is probably the easier part in that respect. Well, I say the creation is very easy because it's peaceful and I like doing it, but
Yeah.
understanding that everyone has a different style um, gives me the permission to put my work out as it is, and then people can judge it however they want. It's like the Andy Warhol quote: "Don't think about making art." No, what did he say? Oh, I've forgotten what it is now. Don't worry about. Ah, bloody hell, I've forgotten what it is.
I'm going to look it up.
It's basically paraphrasing it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I had it then, but I've forgotten.
It'll come in the middle of another sentence when I'm asking you something else. You can
I know.
cut in and tell me what it is. Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
find
Anyway, it'll come back to me.
it'll come back to you. One of the ways I square that circle, because I always used to think it was just about some sort of material visibility or material, like trying to translate some sort of material scene to some stuff inside of me, which is relevant, I know, but I also have come to understand these days as well that every piece of work that I produce is its own entity, and it wants to be out in the world
Yeah.
moving about. And also when people, in my case, read, or in your case, look, my experience is that they each individually finish the piece of work by looking.
Yeah. No, that's so true. They're completing it because you've done your bit, and they decide what it is. You can't decide what it is for them. And I used to get hung up on that, like if someone interpreted a piece of work in a different way to how I intended it, I used to think, oh no, that's not what it's about, but it doesn't matter. It's what it means to them, and you don't have any control over that, and that's okay.
And it
Mm.
also, yeah, I've had exactly the same experience. Or people saying to me, yeah, I really related to the whatever it was in the novel, and I'm like, I never didn't cross my mind the thing you've just mentioned, but they saw something that I hadn't seen, or they were interpreting. But it does mean as well, I find, is that the work remains alive and present constantly, doesn't it? As long as it's
Yeah.
out and visible, it's alive and present constantly because of those new interactions every single time a new
Yeah.
pair of eyes hits the canvas. So I feel like we're
Yeah.
doing it a favor, trying to kind of inverse the British, like, think, you know what I mean? Like the not blowing our own trumpets. Because I don't think it is. I think showing our work isn't
Mm.
about, we're not blowing trumpets. We're producing children and setting them free. That's how I feel
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah. No, it is exactly that. It's just like that, and I think being too precious about it um, gets in your way a little bit. I know so many artists who are quite perfectionist in terms of releasing work or knowing if work is finished. But I touch wood, I don't know why, but I know when a piece is finished,
Mm,
and then it's just out there, and I've got a good practice in terms of moving on to something else and not
mm,
dwelling on stuff. Like the exhibition, that was a huge thing for me, and doing all that, and it's so easy to dwell on that and how I perceived it went, and all that kind of stuff. But I just think, no, I'll just move on to the next thing, and that's out there now. People have experienced that, and I'm going to document that a bit more. But it's just in the world, and on to the next thing. Mm.
I mean, it's a sweet spot, I think, and what a tool in the toolbox to be able, because I am a perfectionist, but also,
Hmm.
yeah, if we don't let something out the gate, because I know I'm a perfectionist, but I also know nothing's ever perfect. So it's like at some point, and that bit of being able to know when a piece is finished, like you just know. So perfection isn't part of the equation. Whether it's perfect or not is not relevant. Like it might be, but it might not be. Do you know what I mean? But that's what I'm hearing, and
Yeah,
being able to do that, because it takes, like, that's what I mean, that sweet spot between kind of like the work is really precious, but you're not being precious about it. You're like, off you go then, mate. Run around the block at the crypt. because to hang
Yeah.
on, like I've met writers who will come to me and I'll do Zooms with them and stuff. And they're like, they've got all this work and they just cannot bring themselves to cross that line. And it means, of course, as you say, like all the stuff that's behind that piece of work never gets a chance to breathe.
Mm.
And I think
Yeah.
as well, there's something about not having faith in the fact that you did that work and you can do it again. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can do it, you can let that one go because you can do it again. Just
Yeah.
right.
That's a big part of it. I was thinking about that recently. Like, I caught myself thinking, well, I've done all that and that was quite big. What do I do next? And I was thinking, I can do anything I want. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You literally
Yeah.
can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might not come straight away, but you can create anything. Um, yeah, I know that sounds a bit vague, but there's always other subjects that I can paint. There's yeah, so many. Yeah, so I'm not ever afraid of going dry, really. Um,
Right. Because the well from which you drew to create all of those, it doesn't belong to you or me,
hmm,
does it?
yeah,
It's universal.
no, yeah, exactly. It's not. Who knows where the ideas come from? Like, they're not precious to me. It's like connections in life, ideas, past experiences, higher power, whatever. It's everyone's got access to that. So it's not anything special about us. It's just the
No.
ability to get out of our own way, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what
Yeah.
makes the difference between those who are actively living this life and those who aren't, rather than saying who are artists and not artists, because actually that it's those words don't apply quite. They're not the right words. But the difference between those who are actively doing it are simply those who can get it over the line,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Because then I find, like, the more I prove to the great blue yonder where all this stuff comes from, that I'm trustworthy and I will get this idea over the line and into a tangible material form from etheric, the more the stuff trusts me to come.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's so true. I get that. And another thing I've realized as well, like the more work you do, you've got, even though, like I said, you don't dwell upon it, you've got that reference point saying that I've done all that and I've got the confidence. I've proved to myself that I can do it by creating this body of work.
Mm.
But then again, you can also reject all of that and say, move on to something else. It's kind of proving to yourself that you're, um, I don't know how to explain it. Now, I've only been painting for about 5 years, but I've got quite a lot of work, and knowing all that's there, regardless of how I feel about it or anyone else, I know that I've gone through the motions of making it all. And even if I burnt it all tomorrow, I've got that memory of creating it all. So it's a reference point that's kind of bolstering my confidence, if that makes sense.
Mm. I didn't realize it was such a short time, 5 years. I had it in my head that you've been. Do you mean just painting for 5 years? You've been drawing and creating all your life, give or take a few annoying art teachers. Right?
Well, it's actually been there was a 20-year break
Oh,
between
really? Okay.
dropping out of my art class. Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
realize that. Okay, wow. So what was the moment when you picked up a pencil or paintbrush again? What was that? What happened that day?
Uh, yeah, well, it was thank you to Thomas J. Bevan. Have you seen him about on Substack at all?
No.
No, I'll shout him out because I read one of his
Yeah.
posts, and uh, it asked three questions. What were you good at as a child? What did you spend most of your time doing as a child? And um, what did other people say you were good at as a child? Um, so my three answers were playing video games and drawing. So the context behind the prompt was to get you connected with your natural abilities or inklings. Um, so I chose drawing, so I didn't want to waste my time on video games. I used to love playing video games, but
Mm,
not so much as an adult.
mm,
Um, and then I just started drawing again. I drew some pictures of my dog, um, and it was really painful because I was judging myself as I was drawing. It was physically, mentally painful, judging myself, thinking, "Is this any good? This is rubbish." And then I did about 10 drawings with pen and ink of my dog, and looked back at it, and I was thinking, that's pretty okay actually. And then my confidence grew. Then we had lockdown, and I was fortunate enough to be able to work at home in my day job, and then I did a lot of drawing and painting, and then started doing bigger and bigger canvases. So I haven't, um, whoops, yeah, I haven't only started painting in 2019 really. So
Oh,
yeah, I, it was dormant really. I had that um, ability, but didn't do anything with it for a while.
wow. So would you say you're in recovery? You're still in recovery from that huge gap? Does that does that make sense to your head? Do you know what I mean?
Recovery.
Yeah. Like in recovery of your essence. Like you're literally recovering your
Um,
essence. Like you're in the early days of recovering your essence of what.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of the time, well, in the past, I did regret not doing anything for so long, but I've had so many life experiences that it feels like it's come at the right time. So I've
Yeah.
got a lot more to say, as opposed to an 18-year-old who they didn't really have any direction or guidance, or I don't know. I don't know how it could have gone, but I know how it is now, and
Yeah.
I'm just grateful that I found it again.
Yeah. So are we.
So I was incredibly frustrated a lot of the time.
Mm.
Didn't know what I was going to do with my life really. Yeah, this has just given me such a new lease of life, reconnecting with that. Mm.
I mean, in my experience, knowing our heading gives us or knowing our essence gives us our heading. Like we know which direction we're facing in, and maybe you just didn't have the resources. You weren't resourced to pick up that pencil until that moment in time. Because as you and I both know, when we're back on that path, it brings up a million things, and we have to be resourced to deal with them. I mean, that's how I view my own break from who I am. I had a huge break as well. Yeah. So is your style and your eye, is it still developing? Are you watching it develop? How do you see your work over the last 5 years and its development?
That's a really good question. It's definitely got more freer and more
Mm.
like my own style. So I went through a period when when I first started, I was trying to invent a style, and that felt quite tedious and forced and contrived, really. Um, so I'm very lucky to have mentor, a mentor called Crosley. I don't even speak to him that often, but he's in the background and there if I need him. But he saw these paintings I did, which were quite contrived, and he said, "What are you doing? That's not your style. You need to go back to your naive art style."
Mm.
Because at the time I was putting designs on coasters, and this other guy was saying you should sell coasters with your art on. And I got absorbed in that for a bit, and I was like, "What the fuck am I doing? I don't want to go in this direction."
Yeah.
So luckily, Cros pulled me out of it, and then I
Mm.
um, went in my own direction and um, stopped trying. I stopped trying to make my art into a style or trying to make it perfect in terms of pursuing any kind of realism or
Mm.
um, yeah, or anything like that. Because I don't know if it's a universal thing, but if you ask someone who knows nothing about art to describe what a good piece of art is, they would usually say it's something that looks realistic. And a lot of the time, with an abstract piece, they'd just think, oh, it's just squiggly lines or whatever, or blobs of colour. So there's kind of something ingrained that we have to make artworks kind of realistic to make it good. But well, I am moving away from that definitely, and just creating in my own style. And it's, if you see through history, that's what the most successful artists have done. Picasso was incredibly talented. Saw one of his paintings. I think he was 12 years old, and it was this perfect little oil painting of someone. And then he decided to go off in his own direction, create cubism. So I think you just have to listen to your own voice, listen to your own style, and go with that, no matter how hard it might be. Because it is, especially, well, speaking from my experience, it's quite hard. You think, is this any good? Is it? Yeah, there's so many self doubts. But there's more positive affirmation around it. Like, look, if you look at people like David Strigley, have you heard of him?
I love
Yeah, his
him. I can't say
oh,
enough.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see his style. He's not trying to be realistic. He even said that he can draw better than he does in his drawings, in his artworks. But he's so free with it, and he does it how he wants to. And people are spending tens of thousands for prints of his. Like,
I know. The Lost Pigeon.
you
I
just
think
have
it's
to
one of my favourite.
yeah.
I mean, all of them are great. I was at Freeze a while back, and he had a whole room there in some cafe. They just put him absolutely everywhere, and I can never
Oh,
get
nice.
enough of David Shrigley. He reminds me, the poet who's the written equivalent is, John Hegley. I'm sure you know the poems of John Hegley.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't get enough of it. And I've written his name down. The Buffet, who I didn't know until I was listening to you being interviewed by someone else. So I looked at him as well. So that's when you saw Jean de Buffet's work. Did you was there a recognition there for you in the direction that he's going? What happened in your body when you saw that work?
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely it affirmed that I was going in the right direction. I have a real affinity with him because he started late. I think he was 41 when he started taking things seriously. And I went to see his exhibition at the Barbican back in 2021. So that was around the time when I was just experimenting and only just started fairly recently painting. And it just felt at home being with his work.
Yeah.
And I was with a friend at the time, and he was saying, oh, he was basically slating his work. He said, "Oh, I could do that. I could do that."
I love that phrase. Oh, I could do that.
And then that made, yeah, I know. but the only reply to that is you haven't. So,
well, exactly. That is exactly the reply. It's the same when someone stands in front of a Rothko.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I didn't quite understand Rothko's. I did until I saw a bit of a documentary, and he really poured himself into his work. He was a very troubled guy, but he really gave himself to his work. And yeah, once you really understand what it's about, you can almost feel it. Really, I remember sitting in. There was like a Rothko room in the British Museum at the back. I don't know if it's still there.
It's not.
No, Tate Britain. Sorry, Tate Britain.
Yeah. Yes, I think it
just
is.
sitting in there. Oh, it is. Yeah. But yeah, I went off on a tangent then. I can't remember what you were saying about before.
I think probably the first time I stood in front of a Rothko, and I think it probably was in Tate Britain, and it was one of the big. I think it was a big red. Might have been a red and black. It might have just been red. And I remember standing in front of it and having a completely acid experience. I mean, I was just going into it. And this
Wow.
applies the same with writing as well. You know, the when somebody reads anyone's work, they can only go as deep as the writer went. Or it applies to therapy. You can only go as deep as the therapist has gone themselves. Do you know what I mean? And so the same with the art. Like we can only go and clearly, yeah, of course, anybody can put some red paint on a canvas, but the depth is the work, is the art. And that's what I was falling into with Rothko. But I think you've got to stand face to face with them to have a chance of really getting it, I think. Did you go to the Bacon retrospective at the National Portrait? Oh, I lost you. Steve, are you there? I think we might have just lost network. Oh, no. Steve, if you can hear me, I can't hear you. Oh, there you're back. Can you hear me, Steve?
Sorry, it cut off a bit then.
It cut off. Did you go to the Bacon retrospective at the National Portrait?
Oh no, I didn't. No, I didn't. No, I went to his in the Royal Academy a couple of years ago. That was pretty amazing. How how would you guess that I loved Bacon as well?
Because
He
I
was
can't. Done my research.
I haven't written that down actually.
No.
I haven't even talked about it. Oh, maybe I have actually. I think I might have done.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is one of the artists that I learned about in school, and I was just blown away with the how different his work was to what we see in kind of traditional art.
Yeah. Did you get it? So how old were you when you first saw a Bacon? Like, what were you, sort of 15 or 12?
Probably like 15 or something. Yeah,
Okay.
15. Yeah.
And you got it immediately, did you?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, me too. I absolutely adore him. And I can stand in front of a Bacon. In fact, I've often, in times of real stress, again, gone to Tate Britain and sat. I think one of the triptychs is there. You know, I mean, I don't know the names of anything ever, but you know, orange background and that fantastic
Yeah.
long neck and the mouth and those three. And I will sit in front of them and I'll feel the most incredible calm. And I think it's because he's showing the inside. He's showing it. So there's no lies, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it just brings,
No, that's so true.
yeah, it brings immense calm. So did you have like a whole backlog of work leading up to your show? Did you have a studio full of work and then you said, okay, I need to show this? Or did you get the show ready and then, but how were you doing it? And do you have an empty studio? Are you like literally, you starting again?
Well, it was half and half. So I booked the space. I selected some previous paintings. So the original plan was 12 previous paintings and 12 new paintings. But it ended up being 34 altogether.
Wow.
Then I created, I think, 15 new works leading up to that. And I find that it definitely, from my experience, has helped me painting more if I've got a show coming up. Some people might feel the pressure of that, but it kind of gets my mind focused into a theme, and then the ideas flow, and then I can create it a lot more clearly, I guess, because there's that slight time constraint. Yeah.
I really wish I'd seen the Kidney Man, Iron Man. Were they all in the show?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I had some of the fistula collection, which is when I documented my kidney failure. So I had pretty much most of those. Then I had a few modern day memento mori paintings I did at the end of 2023. And there's a really uh, a sad story. Well, I don't know how to put it, so I don't want to sound like I've just flippantly said it, but I had me and a studio, another artist who's got a studio next to me, Adam Crosland. We set up an exhibition for December. I think it's December 9th, 2023. So it was around um, death, basically. I can't remember the title of it, but um, my brother actually died the day before the exhibition, and it became incredibly poignant. Like,
Mm.
obviously, I could have cancelled it, but I just had to go along, and I was honest with people that my brother just died the night before, and like there was a couple of paintings that featured him as well, and it was like life is so fucking weird, like
Mm.
things like that happening. Yeah, I won't go into all the details, but he died of liver failure.
Mm.
He was in the first Gulf War and gone through all of that trauma. Things that we only us can imagine what went on at 19 years old, seeing his friends die and all that, and naturally went to alcohol and like drinking for years when he came out, and then it got him in the end. Really fucking sad, but
Wow.
um, yeah, got some great memories of him. Because he was in the army, he was 11 years older than me. So when I was a kid, he used to take us out on like army adventures. I was about 9 or 10. He took out like four of our friends. He dressed in his army gear, and we all had like combat trousers on. We used to go up to the forest and like have little adventures.
Mm.
Took us over streams and like climbing trees and stuff. He let us share a bottle of beer, like one of those tiny bottles of beer. We all thought we were so cool
Yeah.
sharing one bottle of beer between the four of us.
Sweet.
Like really weak beer. There's just little. He used to be so great at doing things like that. Yeah, lots of fond memories and stuff. But yeah, I just seem to paint things that go on in my life
Mm.
uh, as a way of expressing and getting through them, but also I don't know, it's kind of documenting what's going on, and it's they're not unique experiences to me. Everyone goes through them as well. So, well, not everyone, but they're commonly shared experiences. Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why it's so great that you do it, because that common experience means that somebody who hasn't got the resource to paint it or write it or sing it or act it or whatever they need to do can, if they see that work, they can respond to that. So it's doing the world a favor, doing what you do. What was his name, Steve? Your brother?
His name was Gary.
Gary. How old was he?
Yeah. He's only 52, I think. Yeah, 52. Yeah.
Wow. And that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. December 2023.
Wow.
Um, yeah.
And how did your work
Yeah.
respond
What
to
you
that?
said,
Go on. Go on.
I know you say first, I'll remember it in a minute.
Okay. How did your work respond to that? And were you able, actually, first question, after he died, did you go straight back in the studio? Was there a period of time when you couldn't paint? And when you did start to paint, how did the work respond to his death?
Um, I think I pretty much painted straight away.
Mm.
In the weeks after that. It was, I don't want to say complicated relationship, but I hadn't actually seen him since our mother died in 2018. And it's not like we didn't fall out or anything. We just used to see each other through my mum, and then we just didn't see each other, but there was no bad blood or anything. Um, so it was a unusual situation. But in terms of painting, I painted this figure of uh, someone in the dark, uh, basically drinking a can of beer,
Mm.
and then they're having flashbacks of like war trauma. That's what came to me after painting that. And also another painting which had more of a humorous twist to it was he, because he was older, you don't have well, you do have these, but he had like porno mags and stuff, and we used to steal them off him when we were younger. And I did this
Classic.
painting, like me, yeah, people don't really do that anymore
Not
because
anymore,
of the
no.
internet.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, me and a friend stole his magazines and went and sat on like an old mattress, which sounds really random now. That's the kind of shit you do like back in the 80s and
It's the
90s.
80s. Yeah.
Yeah, late 80s. Sat on the mattress reading his porno magazines, and he caught us. He came out and said, like, bollocked us. So I did a painting of that, and it was quite funny. Me and my
Oh,
mate
nice.
looking at one of his magazines, and you see him in the back of his head, like looming over us. So I always like to put a humorous spin on what's going on
Mm.
as well, because I think you have to laugh about things. You can't all be serious. And I know death um, isn't a laughing matter. You can still
Well, I
find
mean,
those funny moments, can't
yeah,
you?
but death can be funny as well. It doesn't. Do you know what I mean? It's not.
Mm,
I'm not convinced it has to just sit in the bucket of always somber and sad and all the rest of it. Death is just death. And sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's really not funny. And, there are a million aspects to it, I think. So,
mm.
did you know in the run up, how much did you know about the dark room he was in before he died? How conscious were you of it?
Um, I didn't know. He didn't want us to know. He told a friend he is with not to tell any family. He didn't want them to worry, us to worry. Um, so I didn't know until he died. Um, his ex-wife told me, who found out through a friend of a friend.
Mm.
So yeah, it was sudden, but as soon as she called me, I knew he was dead. I just knew by her tone of her voice, and yeah. Um, uh, but I just wanted to go off on a slight tangent.
Mm.
I don't know if the story's appropriate. It's not anything terrible, but it's related to death again. So
Mm.
uh, I found out one of my aunties died, but my cousins didn't tell me as well. So I asked how she's doing. She said, "Oh, um, my cousin said, oh, she passed away about a year ago." And I was like, "Well, I didn't know." So my cousin told Gary, but Gary didn't tell me, so we weren't in touch. Um, but anyway, my auntie, she died taking out the bins. She just had a bloody heart attack and died taking out the bins.
Sorry, but that's
And
quite
you can
funny.
see the funny side of that. No, I know, that's what I mean. I was telling a mate at work, and I was like,
Sorry.
imagine that. You can see like a slapstick view of it, can't you? Like
You
walking
totally
out, oh, I'm just taking out the bins, and then takes out the bins, then like falls
Destroy.
into the bin, the legs sticking out. I'm glad you found it funny and it wasn't too
It's really
inappropriate,
funny.
but that's what I mean.
God, love her, but
It's obviously a
yeah,
sad thing, but it's
it's
like,
comedy.
yeah,
There's comedy in there. Like she wrote some comedy into her death,
yeah.
didn't she? Oh, funny. Jeez. Yeah, there is comedy in your work as well as that darkness. That's one of the things I like about it. It really
Mm,
explores, and it feels to me that it's not afraid. It feels to me like it's not afraid. Actually,
mm.
that's my feeling when I look at it. And by the way, before I forget, I really want to buy those two cartoons of me and Elisa. Can I buy them from you?
Oh, yeah, of course you can, yeah.
Amazing. All right, we'll sort that out later.
Thank you.
Now, well, no, thank you. That was how we met, wasn't it? I think because you sent a note saying I've done this drawing. I was like, oh my
Yeah,
god, look at that, love
yeah.
that.
I just started drawing people on Substack
Yeah,
and then tagging them in it.
yeah.
Um, Yeah.
So great. Who else have you done then? That will I?
Oh God, there's so
Have you done
many.
loads? Oh, there are loads. Okay,
Well, I'd say about 50 maybe.
brilliant.
Sintra Wilson, do you know her?
No, I'm sure this is a book.
No.
I'm sure you've got to make a book out of it.
Uh, yeah. No, I did think about that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have to tag you in some of them because I went through a
Yeah,
stint of
tag me
doing.
in. Yeah.
I think I did like one a day or something for a month or so. I think it was a couple of years ago actually. Yeah, I'll have to
Yeah, it was
uh,
because I just
when
arrived.
you publish it. So yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it was early, it was definitely my early days. But yeah, please tag me because I don't know about you, but I find now in the last year there's been such an explosion on Substack and also my work has really stepped up a gear and I
yeah,
miss so much. So
yeah.
just if you ever want me to see something, just fucking tag me so I see it. Otherwise I
I
just
will
won't
do.
see it.
Yeah.
And I miss loads of stuff. Steve, I know you've got a meeting in about 10 minutes. Right? Do you need to go
Yeah,
now? Or can I just
I
ask
have. Yeah.
do you need to go right
I can
now,
go in
or
a
can I
few
ask
minutes. Yeah.
a few minutes? Okay. Little bird tells me that you're planning a documentary. Is this true?
How did you hear that? Oh, you must have got it off one of my notes or something. Uh, I am. Yeah. So I wanted to document the process of using art to get through kidney failure and
Mm,
bereavement and stuff, as well as the process of the exhibition as well. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. I've got some like video editing skills and stuff, but like anything, I'll give it a go. It doesn't have to be a perfect documentary. It's just something out there that's telling my story and hopefully getting people to see my work as well. Yeah,
mm. Great. Well, I'm sure it will happen because you're a take action kind of person. And again, anybody who's watching this on record, Steve is a completely living example of just doing it anyway, with all the doubts, right? With all the doubts, all the fears,
yeah.
all the stuff, do it anyway. Because actually, it's a favor to all of us and it brightens our world and it makes this world a better place.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been such a pleasure chatting with you.
It's been lovely. I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah,
And
me too.
yeah. And yeah, so tag me so I see stuff. I will come to the next show. I've just looked. Now there's a catalogue and catalogue prices on your Substack, which shows stuff that hasn't been sold. And I was just looking
Yeah,
at it a few minutes ago. So anybody who wants to catch up and buy a piece of SLART art, you still can do that, right? They just got to go onto your Substack, find the post,
yeah,
just look at the catalogue, put up your
yeah.
money.
That's right. Yeah,
Great. Okay.
yes, please.
Great. All right. Good. I'm going to do that too. All right. I'm going to let you go. I know you got a meeting. So nice to see you here, Steve. Thank you.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much. Thanks
All
everyone
right.
for watching as well.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye.
Yeah, cheers. Take care. Bye
Bye.
bye.
You too. Bye.